We are checking in on the YouTube stream. We are making sure that any Foundation staff who are using YouTube are able to access the chat. Digitizing, hoping the sound quality issues are as best as they can be. Tonight's SCP is SCP-1048. It is a terrifying creature that we are giving away at the end of the stream, because why would we not do that? It seems like a bad idea, but that's why we're doing it. Digitizing, checking the stream, checking our systems, making sure we are broadcasting live. We are waiting for SCP Foundation staff and friends to join us for tonight's stream. We are saving details. We are touring the facility and picking up slack. We are going to make sure that YouTube chat is accessible. If you wish to talk to us and get on camera, join the GetVokl chat. We also have that pulled up. At the end of the reading, you will be able to read from there. All right, now we have YouTube chat live. We have GetVokl chat live. Everything is good. Let us start tonight. We start tonight with a sad situation. We are dedicating the show to a good friend of the channel, Shane Steele, a fantastic writer, performer, friend, a comedic actor and writer, and he will be missed dearly by those of us, many of us, who were lucky enough to know him. Checking the chat to make sure we are all live. And now that I have my microphone situation ready, my headphone situation ready, we will begin the stream. Hey there, Foundation staff. This is Level 2 researcher Theron Sherman, but you can call me Sherm. Welcome to another Anomalous Broadcast from Site-42. For those of you unfamiliar with our show, the rundown goes like this. Number 1, I read you an SCP document. B, I open up the floor to the community to discuss what we've read. We're often visited by SCP authors, staff, and fans. And if we're lucky, the author of the article themselves can show up and share some insight into their writing process. Although tonight's article is 7 years old, so we couldn't find him. But remember that if you enjoy the show, leave a like and a comment to let us know. And if you really want to help us out, become a patron at patreon.com/site42. Tonight's anomaly is SCP-1048, titled Builder Bear, written by author Trennerdios. While I couldn't hunt him down for tonight's show, I look forward to the discussion of this article with any guests who decided to join us after the reading. And also, I have in my possession a real, in fact, SCP-1048 instance created by wonderful props and model maker James in Media on Instagram, or James in Medias. He made us this wonderful SCP-1048 instance that we'll be giving away at the end of the stream. So I hope you enter the contest. We had over 300 entries, so heck yes. I hope you were one of the lucky ones, or the lucky one. But in the meantime, we will turn in our SCP SkipNet database to SCP-1048, and we will begin tonight's reading. Now, if you know the SCP Wiki, we have over 5,000, or we have over 4,000 getting into our 5,000 realm of just main articles. let alone the tales and extra stories written about those articles. There's well over 10,000, 15,000 stories on the site alone, but there's an upvote downvote system similar to Reddit. And SCP, the earlier in the series is, so they start at 0 and they go to right now 4999. So as you read through, if it's earlier on, that means that means the story is older. It's been around for longer. And SCP-1048 is definitely in the first, 2/5 of the current story canon, but it is at a plus 1137. It is a very popular article on the site. It's definitely in my top, 10 to 20 articles. It is a fantastic creature slash anomaly. So, without further ado, item number SCP-1048. Object class safe. Correction. Keter. Special containment procedures. SCP-1048 is currently free to roam Site-42, as it poses no threat and has been observed to greatly improve the morale of personnel that interact with it. Aw. Oh, wait. Correction. The whereabouts of SCP-1048 are currently unknown, though it is still believed to be somewhere in Site-24. Subject is to be secured for containment, but any creation of SCP-1048 should be destroyed on site, unless further evidence warrants less extreme actions. No teddy bears are to be allowed in Site-24 to prevent any confusion or mistaken identity. Any object that resembles a teddy bear is to be reported to the security team immediately. Note, this is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now? Signed, Dr. Carver. Description: SCP-1048 is a small teddy bear, approximately 33 centimeters in height. Through testing, composition of the subject revealed no unusual qualities that make it discernible from a non-sapient teddy bear. Subject is capable of moving of its own accord, and can communicate through a small range of gestures. The subject regularly shows affection to individuals in ways found endearing by most people. Affection is usually given in the form of a hug to the lower leg, but subject has also been observed dancing, jumping in place, and in 2 separate events it has even drawn childlike pictures for janitorial staff. All Foundation personnel that have interacted with the subject have responded positively to its affection, even D-Class with normally sociopathic tendencies. Attempts at direct communication with SCP-1048 have not been considered successful. Though it is capable of simple gestures to indicate a yes or no answer, it will often not react to lines of questioning concerning its nature or where it originated from. It is not known if this is because SCP-1048 simply does not know the answers, or because it does not want to answer. Though capable of drawing pictures, it has not used its art as a form of communication beyond showing affection, even when encouraged to do so. The more anomalous behavior of SCP-1048 was not observed until approximately 7 months after it was originally secured. It is hypothesized that the subject is able to construct crude replicas of itself using various materials, by a process that is yet to be observed directly by Foundation staff. Dr. Carver has suggested that SCP-1048 uses its endearing qualities to lull those around it into a false sense of security, allowing it to collect materials to produce these creations. Currently, there are 3 known creations of SCP-1048, designated SCP-1048-A, SCP-1048-B, and SCP-1048-C. The nature of these creations has been in stark contrast to SCP-1048's general behavior, as all has exhibited extreme violence toward humans. SCP-1048-A. On redacted date, SCP-1048-A was discovered wandering Site-24, accompanied by SCP-1048. Subject resembles a teddy bear similar in size and shape to SCP-1048, but is made entirely out of human ears. Witnesses interviewed reported that it appeared SCP-1048 was giving a tour of Site-42 to SCP-1048-A. Dr. Carver was called to the scene along with a security team. The security team arrived first and attempted to contain SCP-1048-A. Subject emitted a high-pitched shriek that inflicted intense pain in the eyes and ears of everyone in a 10-meter radius. Ear-like growths immediately began growing on those within 5 meters of the subject, covering their bodies in less than 20 seconds. Each person afflicted with this symptom died within 3 minutes, resulting in the death of redacted amount of personnel. Well, that's at least 2 spaces. It's in the tens, somewhere between 10 and 99 people, including the entire security team. Autopsies revealed the cause of death to be asphyxiation caused by an abundance of the ear-like growths manifesting in the mouth and trachea of all victims. SCP-1048 and SCP-1048-A fled the scene before Dr. Carver arrived, and have not been contained since the incident, though sightings of both have been reported on multiple occasions. Shortly after this incident occurred, a researcher was discovered missing an ear. According to him, it was removed through unknown means while he was sleeping. No other victims of ear removal were found, so it is unclear if SCP-1048 obtained more ears from another source or if it is capable of duplicating objects or materials. SCP-1048-B. Subject was discovered by several Foundation staff members in the cafeteria of Site-42 on redacted date. Subject's appearance was nearly identical to SCP-1048, but it moved in an irregular, jerky manner. Witnesses reported that it appeared as if something was moving inside of SCP-1048-B. Subject made no attempt to interact initially, until a burst in its seams revealed what appeared to be the hand and arm of a human infant poking out and grasping at the air. At the sight of this, a female researcher named Redacted screamed, and SCP-1048-B reacted by emitting a high-pitched cry similar to that of a human infant. The subject then attempted to data expunged the screaming researcher, causing massive internal damage. In the ensuing chaos, a security team was forced to redacted both the researcher and SCP-1048-B. Approximately 3 hours after this incident, Dr. Redacted was found unconscious and bleeding in her office. An abortion had been performed on her while she was sleeping, and the 8-month-old fetus was never found. It is hypothesized that SCP-1048 used Dr. Redacted's unborn child to create SCP-1048-B. Information regarding the possible origin of SCP-1048-B is not to be leaked to the survivors currently undergoing therapy for the incident with SCP-1048-B, as Dr. Carver believes it would be extremely detrimental to their recovery. Okay. SCP-1048-C. Subject resembles a teddy bear similar to SCP-1048, but composed entirely of rusted metal scraps. Subject was first sighted on redacted date by Dr. Carver in his office while writing up a report on the SCP-1048-B incident. Subject fled the room when it noticed Dr. Carver was observing it. In the attempted pursuit of SCP-1048-C, Dr. Carver witnessed the death and maiming of single-digit redacted Foundation personnel, as the subject exhibited extreme violence during its escape. SCP-1048-C has not been encountered since this initial sighting, and it is unknown whether it still resides somewhere within Site-24. The origins of any materials possibly used to construct SCP-1048-C by SCP-1048 are also unknown at this time. Addendum 1048-1. SCP-2295 is similar, but nearly antithetical in function to SCP-1048. Attempts to establish a common origin are ongoing. Extreme caution is to be taken if SCP-1048-A or SCP-1048-C are encountered again. Note, I cannot stress this enough. The damned thing jumped right through those poor people. Signed, Dr. Carver. Hooey! Oh, that's an article. Okay, before we get into the grand discussion, well, first of all, now that we are through with the initial reading, I'm going to open up the floor to anyone who wishes to get on camera and discuss tonight's article. Feel free to jump in if you are in the GetVokl chat. And we are unlocked. But while people decide if they would like to join us, I got to point out that this addendum 1048-1, SCP-2295, was written much later. This article was initially written, let me find the start date, on April 5th, April 2015. So the Patchwork Bear, April 2015, was written at least 3 years after the initial article, SCP-1048. I remember this distinctly because I became a fan of the SCP Wiki somewhere in 2014, 2015. Somewhere in 2013, 2015. And when I initially read this article, SCP-2295 didn't exist, or at least was not linked. For those of you interested in the creative writing history of the SCP Wiki, we cross-link articles between each other so that if you find one article you like, you jump the link to see the next article, and it kind of keeps you engaged. It makes you want to it gives you more education in the history and the different stories of the site. And so there was a great cross-link endeavor a couple of years back where they would take different articles from different parts of the wiki and link them where they seem to fit. So I guess somewhere after I initially read SCP-1048, SCP-2295 was like, oh, this is another teddy bear, but it's very, very different. And apparently it will 2295 will anomalously produce scissors, white thread, and either sewing needles or a crochet hook, and use any fabric in close proximity to fashion an instance of an organ needed by a person. And so it will sew you a needed organ if you are in organ failure. And despite the fact that it's made of fabric, it works for you despite that, because anomalous means. And so it sewed somebody lungs, and it sewed somebody a new heart, and it sewed somebody skin. It sewed somebody's skin. And then it got really, really, really sad when it couldn't solve cerebral hemorrhaging, and it cried, and they gave it a chocolate bar to make it feel better. And that's terrible and makes me sad in my heart. I was not expecting that right now, so thank you, SCP-2295. Oh, and also, it exists because a grandma made this bear and somehow brought it to life by accident or maybe on purpose and gave it to their grandson. So, I was not here for crying, and yet here we are with all of the sads. So in the meantime, while I recover from that, hey, Fairy J is joining the stream. Welcome, Fairy J. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Been cleaning, chasing the giant dog all day, as usual.
Work life, live life, right?
Yes, pretty much. Although I am officially done with my first full freshman semester, and at the end of the day, I have 5 A's and 1 C because algebra and I just don't get along.
Oh my. Well, I mean, congratulations. That's better grades than I ever got, says the freaking liberal arts major dropout.
Well, considering it's a forensic science major, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to step it up next semester in trig, you know. But to me, in high school, geometry made more sense than algebra did, so I'm hoping that trig will be about the same since it's more spatially related.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, I just wanted to say, one, and I always get the numbers confused, but when you were just talking about the patchwork bear actually gave the boy he was trying to heal the candy bar. They didn't give the bear a candy bar.
Oh, I got that wrong. My apologies. I was just skimming. You're totally right. It tried to heal the cerebral hemorrhaging, and when it couldn't, it gave him a candy bar. Oh.
Its way of saying I'm sorry, and then stood there and hugged his leg, which I thought was just like the cutest, sweetest. Oh my god, aren't you
And
just the most adorable little cuddle butt on the planet?
Oh, and now I'm just going to read this because you brought this up. And like, as I'm reading it, it makes me even more distressed than I was before. Notes: SCP-2295 grasps various materials in its proximity in a distressed state for approximately 1 minute and tries to sew the thing. SCP-2295 then anomalously produces a blank brand Dove Milk Chocolate King sized candy bar and offers it to the subject. SCP-2295 spends the rest of the test embracing subject's lower right leg while anomalously producing a saline solution from its, quote, eyes.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, I know it touches you right in the feels, but that wasn't my entire my major point in coming across for this. But I have often wondered how much of a connection there might be between, since they're more or less polar opposites of the same type of anomaly, it would seem. If perhaps the one who wrote the later article might not have had the other one in mind, and kind of like, and the best cross reference thing I can think of for this one would be like the Scarlet King and 999, because everybody knows I'm a huge freaking 999 fan, and want to hang him on my shelf and cuddle him all day. Very much a mom, and I love all the cute baby things. I kind of can't help myself. But yeah, how the two of those seem to be polar opposite flip sides of the same coin. If the two bears might not also, once everything was said and done, be intended to be the same thing in the writer's perspectives.
And I mean, it's wholly possible that, you could try and make something like 1048, which is like, it's just trying to make more of it. It's not malicious on its own, but it could be like a failed attempt at something.
Yeah, that could work too. It just seems like everything that it ends up trying to make ends up causing harm or damage in some way. Like, even kind of a Murphy's Law kind of thing, like, no matter how good the intentions are, everything it tries just seems to kind of go to crap in the biggest, most epically horrific manner possible. Whereas the other one is trying to do whatever it can to fix as much as possible.
We need more good things like that are like two sides of the same coin. Because you're right about when it comes to like 682 and all the other, quote, if you link them to the Scarlet King the way that some of the tales do, and then 999 being like in New Job, the tale, the final child that solves the problem and fixes him.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually something that I've been kicking around, the idea of possibly putting together a tale on myself. I just hadn't quite figured out where exactly I want to start it, as far as the first thing that I'm planning to post up on the wiki, because I've been gathering, God knows, I've been gathering enough freaking intel and data for probably about 2 years now, and I'm still been hesitant to put pen to paper for it. Been mainly sticking most of my writings to the very short stories part of my Twitter for the moment, but that's what's broken me back into writing in general. Not to mention using some of the stuff that I've learned from some of my forensics classes and whatnot to make the clinical perspective of things a bit easier to communicate.
Yeah, until you've read like a lot of the SCP wiki, the clinical tone is kind of a strange other language that you need to kind of absorb. And so, yeah, I can imagine that forensic stuff would have that kind of sciencey jargon that you could use to translate, so
Oh
to
yeah,
speak.
most definitely, because whenever you're describing an actual, I mean, because it's basically hospital language, and hospital, just to dumb it down really, really, in probably a horribly poor manner possible, hospital language, cop language, firefighter language, EMS language, it all comes out kind of the same. And so I'm going to be dealing with a lot of that on a day-to-day basis once I actually hit the field. And in the process there, actually being able to utilize that in my writing is something I'm really looking forward to. Being able to cross those over without ending up just coming across as like yet another of 500 bajillion different crappy true crime writers.
Yeah, it's very good to have something in your personal life to kind of draw from, and especially when it comes to this site with forensics and having that specific voice able to be like second nature rather than having to learn it for its own sake.
Yeah, and a large part of the reason that I chose forensics is because I originally wanted to be a police. My fiance basically put his foot down and said, "No, no," because we live very near a fairly high crime area. We live right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. And he said, "Nope. If your job becomes you heading out with a gun and a badge, I'm gonna hide your car keys every day." Because I'm like all of 5'2", and I float between 125 and 145 soaking wet. So he's like, yeah, I don't think so. That's not going to work. So the best way that I could still make that type of difference that a detective would be from the scientific side of things. So, and use my brains more so than the gun and badge. So that's why I chose that route.
God bless those who serve for the reasons and sacrifice themselves for the cause and protect us. There's, there's a reason that it's called service, and it's not easy.
No, I mean, I'm really, really terrified for the first few times I have to work on a case that involves things like animal abuse or small children. I'm pretty sure the only way that I'm going to make it through it is by going all no holds barred, gung ho, and doing whatever I can to make sure that person gets as utterly freaking buried as possible. And if it means that I'm the one that's gathering the evidence to make sure that happens, I'm totally okay with this.
Oh,
because
question.
I hate those.
While I just thought of this, this is the first time I've gotten to talk to you in long form. You said you've been lurking the site for about 2 years, and you've worked on some writing on Twitter. Have you written anything for the wiki yet?
No, that's what I was saying. Is I've had like 2 or 3 different ideas that I'm kicking around. It's just a matter of actually the continuation of growth of SCP-999, like how he's to actually get sat down with the initial author on it, because I want to make sure that I'm not screwing up anything that he has in mind because it's very much his character. The other one that I've been kind of kicking around an idea just for amusement is by taking this Russian bastard, pardon me if anybody is offended by my adult language, and somehow figuring out a way to work him into an SCP that ends in 666 and that just basically makes him out to be the sleazeball devil. Who ultimately ends up in containment and just turns out to be a whole lot of horse crap and isn't worth much crap. That's more or less the overall gist that I have in mind. It's just a matter of how to get it all on the paper and have it come across with what I consider my typical deadpan delivery to let people know that, oh yes, this is very much sarcastic, but at the same time, I don't want it to be a -J. I want it to go up as a full-fledged article and cause this MFer as much humiliation as humanly possible, because I just hate it.
As an SCP guy, I've written a couple articles. I do my website. I have the YouTube, and I have advice on those 2 concepts that I have thus far, as much as you can take it from me and my little bit of experience. On the 999 front, I say just write it out now. Get that on paper, because most of the time we are just thrilled as authors when people want to use our characters. And so even if your thing is not at all what the original author for 999 had in mind, the idea that it branches off into a whole nother canon makes sense with the there is no canon mantra of the wiki.
Oh,
And
right.
so,
I completely understand that. At the same time, I wanted to make sure that if I could at least get enough of a, tap on the head, sure, kiddo, go ahead and do it, to let him know that I want it to be done in a way that's paying homage to what 999 is, and then with the later story that was done about him, what he is to become, I just kind of want to hit that interim, the growing up process, like, because they're basically treating him like he might be Jesus. Well, there's those years of from the age of 12 to the age of 36 in the life
oh my
of
God,
Jesus.
You're gonna make 999 into teenager Jesus. That's amazing.
I was kind of thinking about something like that because even though I'm not Christian, but that's the best correlation historically that I can think of. There's that whole blanked out time period that supposedly nobody knows about. Well, let's not let that happen with 999. Let's actually get to show his growth and progression into becoming this unbelievably unholy badass who still manages to use love and kindness to overthrow his father without all the huge explosions.
I say write that now, start it, just have it on hand. That way when you get the go ahead, because I think you're going to get the go ahead, you're already on it and you're not like waiting to start. Now on the other one, I'm going to talk as a very, very junior, doesn't exist, barely member of the SCP Wiki staff. Nobody knows this because I wield no power, but I am in charge of talking between YouTubers and the SCP Wiki staff, even though they can really do it on themselves. So I have a very nominal role, but that means I get to hear what people are talking about. And when it comes to Mr. Russia, we're number one, as an author, just as an author, most of the site is in kind of a site where we don't want him to have any power over the wiki. We're trying not to mention him super by name. We're suing him and we don't want legal issues to cut in the middle.
And that's just it, is I wasn't ever intending on using his name or anything like that. I was going to have it be more like an anomalous creature who comes across. He's from Russia. He gets transported to the U.S. for whatever reason. He's transferred over from one site to the other. He tries to impersonate being either a doctor or a researcher or whichever. I hadn't made up my mind on that yet. But yeah, basically just utterly ripping into just how completely and totally insignificant he is in the grand scheme of things.
A story of someone infiltrating the Foundation, like, Chaos Insurgency people do it, Global Occult Coalition people do it. But the idea of someone getting in as a doctor and like getting access to an anomaly, oh my God. I'm writing it in my head now because all SCP documents are written from the perspective of a
something that's actually infiltrating. I want him to have started off already as an anomalous object, but somehow in his head, he thinks he's more important than he is, just as the person does.
Oh, good old narcissism. Oh, and hello to your cat.
Yep, that's my fatty fat. That's Carradwin. But you'll probably see the dog over here in a few minutes, and if they knock my phone down, I might run away and chase them across the house for a few. They harass the daylights out of each other every day. In fact,
Fantastic.
that's probably why you're seeing her kitty butt backing up towards the screen, because he's trying to get her attention from the front of her. I apologize. Let me angle that camera a little bit. There we go. Now it's not facing them.
Trust
you
me,
might occasionally.
This is the internet. There's nothing better for a stream than a cat or a dog showing up.
This is true, but I didn't figure you wanted the stinky end,
That's fair.
I don't like it when she puts the stinky end towards my face. I'm like, yo, I want to pet the face little fat butt. No, I do not actually want to see your little fat butt.
Speaking of little fat butts, I think this might be the time to announce the SCP-1048 giveaway winner. That's the best tangent subject change I could manage, so sue me. But this is SCP-1048, created by Instagram account James in Medias. James in Medias made this for the channel for this giveaway. It is amazing. I just want to show off that it's got a razor blade on one hand. It's got a gun arm with like bullet casings that'll probably have problems in customs. I'm sorry if you're the winner. You need to work on getting this.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
It lights up in the belly if you press the right spot, which I never managed to do on the first try or the 100th try. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Light up. Now I'm gonna be awkward and do this until I find the CPR. I'm doing CPR on a baby. It's okay. I'm CPR trained. You do it with 2 fingers and you press it.
It's okay. It's got an adult resistant child-proof cap.
Oh no. All right, I can't seem to get him to light up right now. That's sad. But what I can do is, while I can't get him to light up, which is adorable, he does have a literal music box in his left eyebrow that if I turn...
Oh my god, that's too much. My son would flip out. He and my middle daughter both love watching SCP stuff with us and trying to figure out how cool it would be if it was real.
And so with this, I'm going to now go. I'm going to hand this off so I can get to the drawing. Woo! Are you going to make the light work? Please make the light work. But in the meantime, I have 299 entries for this. Oh, the light's on. I'm going to come back and let the light come on. Katie saves the day. And so this is what he looks like when he's all lit up. His belly lights up. It's adorable. It's wonderful. And so now you can turn him off because I probably can't. And so we have 299 entries to this contest. Oh, you're back. Welcome back, Fairy. We had over 299 entries, or exactly 299 entries between Twitter, Tumblr, GetVokl, and Patreon. And of those people, we can hear you. Welcome back. Can you hear us? Testing. Fairy, are you there?
Hey, what's going on? Did I lose connection or did one?
You lost connection and then you came back and now you're in 2 windows somehow at the same time. But then you're gone, but then you're back. I hope this works. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue on my path of hopefully having an announcement of a winner. So we had 299 entries between Twitter, Tumblr, GetVokl, and Patreon. And we made everyone. Are you back?
Yeah, my phone kept cutting out. It decided it did not like a network attachment in here. I had to change everything over to my Wi-Fi.
Good to have you back. And now I put all those entries in a spreadsheet. I ran a random number generator. And so now I have 5 winners. And it's basically if first winner says no, second winner gets it, second winner says no, third winner gets it. But I can't imagine anyone saying no to that adorable boy, murder boy. He's the cutest murder boy that's ever lived. You obviously want him in your house while you're sleeping. That's the boy that you want there. It's going to be wonderful. And so our winner for the random number generation is Luke, subscriber on GetVokl. And Luke is currently watching the show. So, hey, Luke, you won our SCP-1048. You are the guy who got that.
And my doggy's even excited. He's over here giving me kisses. Hi, Joey. Yes, he's all cheering you on.
The dog is so excited for you.
Joey, no, not nomming on my arm. You're supposed to say yay to Luke. You goofball.
And so, Luke, check out
he didn't win.
SCP Site-42 at gmail.com. Send me your email, your mailing address, and we will send you a box with a wonderful murder bear. I'll say that one more time while Fairy is getting dogged.
Well, yeah, I'm actually trying to let y'all see how cute he is. At the same time, he's trying to nom his way into my lap. He even though I'm in a chair that's 3 feet up off the ground, so he shouldn't be wanting to get in my lap. Why do you want in my lap right now? Quit giving me big sad eyes. It's not nice.
The biggest lap boy. The biggest lap boy.
I mean, for real, he's ginormous. Hi. Yes, I just took you outside. You should be played out, bud. Like, no, I want all the attentions. I want it all right now. You're talking to somebody else. You cannot do this. Ugh, you butt. Get down. Okay, you've had enough attention. Bye. No. Bye. Hey. Hey, good boy. Good boy. There you go. I'll get you a treat because you actually listened for once.
Duh. But in the meantime, Luke, you can send me an email with your details, with your address. We will send you that wonderful murder boy. You will send us a tweet when you get him. It'll be great. I remember the first time I saw this article was like way again when I first got in the wiki. And I was running a Dungeons and Dragons campaign based in the Dresden Files universe. If you read those book series about the Chicago wizard detective. But we visited an SCP site and we had seen all sorts of weird things along the way. And there were monsters and there were good things and bad things. But we opened the door and there was a teddy bear. And the teddy bear was like, oh, hug me. And one of my character players was just like, I shoot it with my shotgun. And I'm like, oh, damn. Bro, why would you? I shoot it with my shotgun. And so he rolled. He successfully shot 1048 instantly without any interaction. And everyone was like, why did you shoot that nice teddy bear? And then at the end of the game, I walked him away and I was like, dude, that was the right choice. That bear was going to mess up your days. It was going to be awful. So, God, this is one of the best. One of my favorites.
Always fear the cute.
Luke, you need some sort of containment for this bear. He asks if he needs a quartz box for him. You need something that will hold this bear in lock because this guy's going to mess up everyone's shit. That's what it does. Be prepared for this murder boy. But at this point in the evening, we have done the story. We've discussed it. We've gotten some writing tips, and we have given away an SCP instance. Oh, by the way, this contest, if you go to Twitter, at TheeSherm on Twitter, we are doing the SCP IRL contest more often. The person, James and Medias, who just made this for us, they are already working on a giveaway item for SCP-049. And I'm going to spoil this for you. It's not an SCP-049 mask because that's way too expected. They've got a trunk, and they're going to make a medicine cabinet with vials and medicines and cures for the pestilence. And it's going to be like this awesome medicine trunk that you can decorate your house with. And so
I'm trying really hard to not fangirl squee over here at the idea of that. Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, we will have an SCP-049 medicine case for the next SCP IRL contest, which will be coming to you somewhere in January 2020, because apparently we're shotgunning these and we're not even taking a break between them. And so be ready on Twitter, Tumblr, GetVokl, and Patreon to get your entry so you win this. Fairy, what were you going to say?
I was saying, oh my God, that kind of, yeah, I'm over here having a moment of I kind of need to hold back from doing the whole fangirl. Oh my God, that looks so cool. So much fun to play with and keep the kids out of, including the furry ones.
Oh, don't let them in the pestilence.
Yeah, no, these are decoration. Keep little paws off them, both the paws and the human fingers.
But as a sneak preview for the giveaway, this is the cabinet that my good friend James and Medias on Instagram found and is making for us into a thing.
Whoa. You can see the old school antique cabinet. Nice.
And so this is going to be super legit, and I can't even wait. There will be a tweet on Twitter you can retweet for a single entry, a Tumblr reblog for a single entry, subscribe to us on GetVokl for 5 entries, and then become a patron on the patreon.com/Site-42 to get 10 entries. I'll have you know that running 5 random number generators, we had 2 GetVokl winners, 2 Patreon winners, and 1 Twitter winner. So random number generator, you should get on GetVokl or Patreon, apparently, because that's where the winners are at least 4/5 ready to come from. But other than that, this
What
is
level? What level of Patreon would be required for that?
$1. No, we're not even picky. If you are supporting the channel at all, if you are a fan, we are here for you. It's not going to be like number gated at like $10 or more. That would be really shrewd of me to do, and I should think about it. But I'm not going to do it for now. It's just support us on Patreon at all, and we would be down for it. Like $1.
Okay, that's awesome because we're like on the lower income of things, and usually I just end up doing like single donates here and there. But I'm pretty sure $1 we can manage.
And you know what? Like our Patreon's small. It's got 20 patrons. It's about $200 a month. It's not enough to live off. It's not enough to do things with. But to pay a prop maker to make a prop once in a while and to give it to patrons, that sounds like a dope way to put SCP stuff in the world. And so that's why I'm doing it. We're going to make art. We're going to give it to people. More patrons, I'll make him make bigger things. We'll just keep doing it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And at some point in the future, depending on what classes I end up taking next semester, I might actually be willing to assist in the creation of some of those.
Ooh, more artists.
I can't do a whole lot of things, but you know, if somebody else already is working on, say, the base bones lines of it, I do know how to sew. I do know how to do a bit of design work, not digital design, but actual design work. So yeah, I don't mind helping out. I always love to do things of that nature, as long as I'm doing it for fun and not for a school assignment, because that just makes me want to beat my head into a wall.
Yeah, it's only good to do it if you want to do it.
Exactly.
All right, well, hell, thank you, Fairy, for joining us for the stream tonight. Thank you, everyone who is watching us on YouTube and GetVokl. And yeah, get ready for the next SCP IRL contest in January. Whoa, important. We will not be streaming on next Sunday on the 22nd because I will be flying off to my holiday vacation back home. But I have a friend who is a Twitch streamer back home. And so the 29th, while I'm still on vacation, we're still going to have a show. So we'll have a show in 2 weeks. We're taking a 1-week vacation. So we'll see you guys then. Say goodbye, Fairy.
Goodbye, Fairy.
Goodbye, Fairy. And this is Theron Sherman signing off from Anomalous Broadcasts at Site-42. See you next video. And stop.